We're just going to give it a few more minutes. Everyone make sure you've got a cup of tea. Happy New Year to those that are with us already.
Yes, true. Happy New Year. Seems like ages ago, doesn't it? No. Hope you're having a sunny day. It's very sunny in Lancaster and crisp, really lovely.
Such a nice
Cold.
way of putting it.
Yeah.
It's very cold.
Crisp.
Excellent. I can see everyone joining us. Good news. Thank you for joining us for our first product update of the year. So today I'll be taking you through the new features and the changes that were made available in your platform in Q4 of 24. And then our lovely Eleonora will be running us all through what is coming down the product pipeline.
Amazing. So if you have any questions, there is a chat. So pop them on the chat as we go, and we'll address them at the end. And if you are like me, that sometimes need time to process, and you think of questions after the webinar is finished, please get in touch with us and we'll be happy to answer. Oh, one more bit I need to say.
Go for it.
That this will be recorded. So if you want to share with any colleagues that are not here now, feel free to share it so everyone is in the know.
Thanks, Elu. So as I've said before, this session is all about taking you through the latest functionality available to you in your accessplanit platform, giving you a view of what is to come in the future. So today we're going to be covering with the new features from last quarter. Elu will then be giving you a tour of what's to come in the now, the next, and the later. And we'll be going through the questions that you have on the new functionality, or the now and the next and the later towards the end. So quick introduction before we jump in, if you're new to our presentation. So I'm Helen. I'm one of the 3 customer success managers that we have in the customer operation team. I lead the commercial management here at accessplanit, and I've been with AP, through almost 3 years now.
That's quick. I'm Eleonora. I'm accessplanit's product manager, and I look after the roadmap and getting the vision and the strategy done, basically. And I'll share things with you. I am the link. I'm kind of the pig in the middle between customer operations and the developer side of things. So interact with everyone in my role of product manager.
So let's start today's webinar with the new features which are already available to you. Our November update last quarter was completely focused on making the platform easier to use. It included a huge expansion of knowledge and educational support throughout the platform, with new admins at the center of that new knowledge. So here's a quick overview of the platform areas and features that were updated. Then I'll take you through each one of them in more detail. So we have help text, we have the module descriptions, new admin knowledge center, new admin interactive guides, new admin welcome emails. So help text is now available across the key forms of your platform. Help text is all about providing useful content for options in your platform forms. The context, is especially useful for our new admins as they get familiar with the system, and it offers a really helpful reminder for the existing team members who may not perform certain tasks every day and keep that knowledge up regularly. So let's have a look at the help text in action. So here we are editing a classroom course. Just click on the purple question mark icon to view the help text, then click anywhere else to close them. They're available throughout your forms. Here are some more in the financial section on the page. Some help text also have a link to the accessplanit knowledge base so that you can learn more should you need to. Our next feature is the addition of module descriptions. So these descriptions provide an overview for the platform area with a helpful direct link to the relevant knowledge base for more information. This addition will be a great help for those new members of your team and even for experienced team members. When they're navigating a page or a module for the first time, it's just going to give them those easy pointers. The descriptions are here to boost the understanding and your confidence, of course, and to help get value from the platform faster. So let's see that in practice. We have a little video. So we're in the products and services data grid here. The module description is available on the eye icon. So hover over it to view the description and the button to read more on our knowledge base. If you don't need the help text, you can always click that do not show again button you just saw, and the description won't show up for you any longer. Fun fact that we've got, actually, we've looked at the number of the numbers last week of these module descriptions, and they've been clicked over 6,300 times already.
Wow.
People are using it. It's great. Good to see. So the rest of the features in this update are for new admins only. That is an admin where it's been less than a year since their first login. The first feature available to them is the dedicated knowledge center available in your live platforms. And this includes the essential interactive guides, resource specifically about working with the accessplanit team, and links to on-demand webinars such as this that have been created for those new admins. So on the dashboard that you can see here, there is a blue banner available on the right of the screen labeled Platform Knowledge. Clicking on here will expand the Knowledge Center. And you can see here, you've got access to those interactive guides. Click to learn more on the accessplanit. Oh, excuse me. Click to learn more about the accessplanit and click to view on-demand recordings on the webinar that were made with the new admins in mind. This Knowledge Centre will be available to admins for their first year of using that platform. If you have a sandbox platform too, your new administrators will benefit from a full suite of additional interactive guides accessible only to your sandbox. A good reminder that you can purchase a sandbox at any time for any of our accounts. It's a great place to boost that learning and have that practice space to be able to work.
And play.
And play, exactly.
Play without the risk of messing things up.
100%. We love a sandbox. Do everything in the sandbox first before on the live, obviously. So here you can see a snapshot of the interactive guides available. The top 3 are available in your live and all new admins in the new Knowledge Center. So while the rest are only available in the sandbox environment because they take your new admins through the steps of creating and adding to your platform, which of course you don't want happening in your live platform. So let's have a look at how they work. We have a quick video. So here we are in the sandbox platform. So we are able to access the guides via this core concept bubble at the bottom of the page. In here, we can see the guides and we can see which have already been completed. Just click on the guide to launch it. Your new admins can proceed through the guides at their own pace. And of course, if they need to, they can go back and redo them at any point. Super easy and super interactive, and people can take it at their own pace. I've also found with this, it's good to go back sometimes, especially if you're not doing something regularly.
Great to prompt the memory.
Yeah, you need that sometimes.
Yeah.
So our final addition to the new administrators are 2 new welcome emails. So the emails are automated through workflows, so you don't need to do anything to get them there to send. They are there to provide your new team member with access to useful resources as soon as possible, so we can take that away from your current admins, and it's just one of those jobs that's already been done. So as they're managed through the workflows, you can amend them any way that you want, make them to be a bit more personal, or you can turn them off if you require, if this isn't something you feel you could benefit from. So the first email to send to a new administrators 1 day after they have been created, it contains a direction to accessplanit knowledge base, information how to get in touch with our amazing support team, and how to access our in-app onboarding materials. We then have the second email, which is sent to new administrators 6 weeks after they've been created, when they're a bit more familiar with that platform. It will contain where to find out on-demand webinars, how to book onto our free workshop webinars, and how to sign up for our events newsletters. So lots of resources there that they can take advantage of. As mentioned, these are built within workflows and super admins have access to them. So if you'd like to update the content, add something of your own or remove them, that's completely fine. If you need any further information on that, please contact your customer success team. We'll be glad to give you more information. So the final feature that I can talk to you about today is a very exciting one, which is the API version 2 feeds. So version 2 API, well, actually just the API feeds in themselves are a great way to integrate your other systems with your accessplanit platform and streamline your operations. The V1 feeds have been available and incredibly successful since 2019, and they cover key areas and key data for integrating your accessplanit platform with other systems. But the V2 feeds are that, plus so much more. So the V2 feeds have extensive coverage of your platform, not just the key areas from the previous V1. The V1 feeds, with the V1 feeds, you can always, you are always given back the standard data. However, you can make requests with V2 and you can choose what information is included. The V2 feed supports filtering on your custom feeds and include your custom feed information in your results to share this with your integrating team. You can sort your results so that the most important information is at the top. You can delete data in your accessplanit platform using APIs, meaning you have even more control of that data management between the two systems. And the V2 feeds support webhooks, which means you can trigger notifications about updates in your accessplanit platform to your connecting system rather than needing to keep refreshing or checking for updates periodically. So last quarter, the V2 feeds were made available on your test sites as an alpha release. This means that while we're still tying up our loose ends, you can have access to the API V2 and webhooks this year and start having a play. Lots of you have started to take advantage of this as well. Again, if you need any more information on this, please get in contact.
We already had great feedback about it, actually.
Amazing feedback. People are really starting to see the possibility of it and what this means, which is incredible to see accessplanit at the center of all these integrations and making this functionality so much more bespoke to what people are needing. So get familiar with that documentation and start your planning too. So Jack and Jenna from our team are running a dedicated session all about the new V2 feeds on the 30th of January at 10 a.m. So please join along to learn more. They'll go into far more detail than Elu and I. So that's everything for me to show you today. So before I hand over to Eleonora to talk about what's in store for the platform in the future, here's a quick recap of what we've been through. So we talked about the help text and how it's now available throughout your platform to help admins understand what key options do. We have module descriptions are available on many of our data grids to provide more context and shortcuts through our knowledge base to help you get value from the platform faster. New Admin Knowledge Center is available in live platforms containing lots of useful information and resources for your new admins, including on-demand webinars and recordings. New admin interactive guides are available to new admins in the Sandbox platform to provide that self-paced learning about core concepts of your accessplanit platform. 2 new welcome emails will be sent to the admins to provide the new admins with those resources on the first day that they get created, and then a follow-up later. And finally, API V2 is now available in test sites as an alpha release and will be with you shortly. Start that planning. It's going to be very exciting. So if you would like to read more about anything that we've covered today, please check out our What's New page in our knowledge base. And I will now hand over to Eleonora.
Eleonora, my full name.
I know.
Feels like I've been told off.
Hopefully
I'm not being told off.
No, it's your official name.
Yes. So I know lots of you like this part, because it is, Helen's just gone through what we have released, and what I'm going to be talking about is what we will be releasing, the things we are working on, and the plans for the future. So many of you, if you come to this or you watch these ones on demand before, know that we use a Now Next Later roadmap, and I keep banging on about it. What is the Now Next Later? Just so I'm not going to go in detail, and I'm not meant to say we watch a webinar. We do some training here with podcast, and one was on presentation, and it was when you present, don't say and I just said it.
It's tricky. We have to be ourselves.
Never mind. So if I say you give me a strike, and then tell me how many I said at the end. And it's starting really great, doesn't it? I'm not going to say it. So the Now Next Later is structured around these three broad time horizons rather than dates, because things change. So it's a dynamic roadmap, and things should move from right to left, some from later to next to now. Sometimes they don't, and we'll go in detail to what are we working on and what's moved where in a little bit. So our roadmap is not a secret. You can access it at any time, is live, is up to date all the time. And how can you see the Now Next Later is on our product portal. Another little A there, but it doesn't count. Right.
Doesn't count.
It does. On our product portal. The product portal's gone live last quarter or the last couple of quarters ago, and you can access it. Everything I know and everyone here knows is in here. So there's no secrets. You can see the cards and what we're working on each stage at all times. If things change, I change them immediately. So this is up to date at all times. So I really encourage you to interact with this.
I'll just add as well, it's actually in your help menu for those that don't know.
That's the next slide.
Oh,
Helen, no. She didn't say that. We'll go to the next one. So you can click between the tabs. If you see at the top, we've got launch, the roadmap explain, which is this I've just said. What does Now Next Later mean? Then we have Now Next Later and under consideration, which are things we're planning or thinking that we may do. I'm going to just quickly show you what's in each card, or what's in one card, for example. I just picked under consideration. So if you look at the pink one, configurable tax rates, and we click on it, you'll see that you have a small description of what this will be. And most important, at the bottom, many times you have a question. And this is where you come into action, or where we would love you to come and interact with us. So we have all these plans, and of course, we're here to your feedback all the time. But if you could give us feedback on each specific card and feature that is on the Now Next Later and on the consideration of the roadmap, that would be great. How can you do that? So if you click, I'm just going to go one back. If you click at the bottom where it says, how important is this to you? You click any of those four, a little dialogue will open where you can just tell us as much feedback as possible. And this is the bit where it'd be great for us to understand your problems. So how do you think this could solve problems you currently have? Explain us what the problem is. What are you trying to do that you cannot currently do with a platform, or you cannot do well? The more we understand your problems, the more likely we are to get this feature right to solve those problems. So please interact with it. I read every single one of these votes, even if you just vote and don't give us feedback, or feedback every week. So I've got a scorecard, which is weekly, and the aim is that I read 100% of them. not 80, 100% of these things need to be read and processed. So it doesn't go in a black hole. It comes to product. We read them, we process them, we tag them to different features or things we're thinking about. So rest assured that even though you may not get feedback straight away from product saying, thank you for this, and a message from me, if I did that, that would be all I do and wouldn't have time to do anything else. But rest assured, we do read them, take them into consideration when we're planning things, and they are vital for us. The next bit is the launch. I just wanted to highlight what Helen's gone through: the new admin resource center, the module description, the welcome email for admins, and the help text. You can see those cards at the top of the What's New November 2024. So everything we've launched moves to launch with a description on each of the cards. And now when they move to launch, we add a link with more information that goes straight to the help guides. So you can see every detail of how to use this. Click here with the little videos and screenshots that Jenna makes that are amazing. And the first card, that What's New November, is a summary of everything that has been released. So if you missed any of these product updates and you want to see, so what happened last year, come back to the launch, have a look, click to see more information. If you want to say, oh, how do I use this? You could come through here and then go to the help guide, or you could go to the help guide straight. So it's there for you. As I said, it's alive all the time, it's dynamic, is true. That's the word I'm going to say. There's no secret. So if you ring Helen, I said, so Helen, what are you working on? All Helen will do is go there, so you can go yourself, you know. Or it used to be, when we didn't have this so clear, they used to come to product to ask questions that the customers were asking. Now we cut all that because the customers can see themselves.
Yeah, we've wanted to make it more interactive, and that's why it's so dynamic as well. It changes and is updated so that the information is there for everybody, so you can immediately get that information.
Yeah, and I think it's great.
Yeah, I think it's amazing.
This is the example of What's New card. And as Helen said before, spoiler alert, you can access from your platform on the help. When you click help in the product roadmap and product suggestions, you click there, it takes you straight to the product suggestions and the product roadmap on the portal.
So convenient.
You can access it on this link that I'm going to put on the chat, or you can access through this QR code, which I was very proud I created. First time I created a QR code with the accessplanit in the middle. Cool.
Love it.
So if you're watching this, you can just scan it with your phone and get to the portal. And the last bit, which I'm going to speed up because I know I like chatting.
We like hearing
I
you.
love chatting, sorry. The last bit is you can still submit product suggestions. So if what you are after to solve your problems is not on the portal, please submit a new idea. Click on that button and tell us about your problem. It really helps, and I know I go on about it, that if we find the product suggestion that says, I want this option on this drop down, it's not very helpful because we don't know what you're trying to do, you know. So it really helps if you can put a little bit of time to explain what problem you're trying to resolve, so we can go to the root of how.
Okay, like what job?
Yes, what job you're trying to do.
Complete?
Yes, that you cannot do, rather than tell us how to do it, how you think would be best. Because you might think it might be best just by adding one drop down, one option on that drop down, but we might have other ideas that might solve more problems with just the one feature. So that's why we need to really understand what job you're trying to do, what problem you're trying to solve. So with that, I'm going to stop banging on about it, and we're going to move on to what are we working on? The roadmap. Probably you're going like, yeah, whatever. And this is the bit I want to know.
This is the exciting bit.
Right. So this is the now, next, later, as it was presented in Q4. This is obviously a summary. Also it's a summary. I can't put everything in there and I'll be here forever, which I'm sure people are busy lives and don't have time to hear me talking for about 5 hours. But this is how it was in Q3 when we presented, and this is how it is now. So as you can see, things moved. Some moved from left to right, which I'm going to go through each one now. Some from right to left, and some just appeared. So in the launch, we have all the things that Helen just gone through, the help text, through the module descriptions, the admin knowledge center, the interactive guides, and the emails. Those weren't in the roadmap at all. It was some work that was being done alongside, and all of a sudden, from not being there, came to launch. This is just shows the nature of how dynamic it is. So these things have moved to launch. Then we have the APIs version 2, which Helen talked about, and webhooks in alpha. So we are there. We're just doing the last little tiny tweaks to it. So it's going to go live with the rest of the things. But if you're interested in having API version 2 in your test site, please get in touch with the CSM and they can sort that out for you. So you can start having a look, planning, having your devs looking into it, and then your documentation. And then when it's live, you'll have most of the job done. You'll just go and copy and do it. So from now, in the now update, my teaching, giving trainees the ability to assign delegates to placeholders, that was in the roadmap last time and it's gone. The reason why it's gone is because we came across some high risk of data breach where we couldn't restrict what delegates those trainers should be able to see. And it was we weren't 100% happy with the way we found to solve this issue. So rather than it being a massive risk, we moved it out of the roadmap, and we may have a different thing at a later time. So that one is gone, but we have some new one in. See, things are out and new and come. We've added the ability for trainers to view the placeholders data grid if permission is given by the admin. So that's the My Teaching bit. In the next update, have I got everything on here? Yeah. The next update, Enhanced Trainer Portal and My Teaching role sets have moved to later. The new course calendar for admins have moved from later to next. So the new, well, this is one I'm quite excited. The new course calendar for admins, hopefully we will incorporate in the new calendar a lot of the suggestions you've been sending, like views and filtering and colors, and being, giving you more control over it. So that one was on the later, is moved to the next because we'd already started working on it and we're quite deep down in it. And the last one was with the launch of AP1's version 2, in the later, a new addition is a commercial site. So we're going to have a sample commercial site that will help people who want to build their own with a login, a My Account page, a course search, and a mini basket to help whoever wants to build their own know how to work with the APIs. So that one is looking exciting as well. So we're going to go now a bit more in detail in the now. So after this slide, I've gone through not every single thing, but most of the things that we're working on now. And what I want to say is that we are really nearly there. After we develop, we test things in isolation. That's called sprint testing. So the dev who's done it, test it, then the test and quality team test that in isolation. Then when every single thing's been tested, it gets put all together, and we do what's called release testing, which is not only testing the new things, but testing around the platform to make sure nothing got broken and everything works. So that's kind of the last stage before a release goes out. And we're nearly getting into release testing stage now. So it's really nearly there. As with the now, next, later, we don't give dates. And I know that a lot of you are saying when. We talk about imminent. So the safest thing I can say is Q1. We are hoping quite early in Q1. But that's as much of a date I can give you. And rest assured, we're doing everything we can to get this out as soon as possible.
And it's looking good.
It's looking really good. So next one. As I said, I'm going to go through the things that are in now that will be launched in the next release. Data grids, quick edit. I think this is the star of the show.
Yeah.
I've been playing with this. You'll be jealous because I get to play with it soon. So data grid, quick edit. You know that when you're having a data grid, when you're in a data grid and you want to change things, at the moment you have to navigate away from the data grid. With this new functionality, you'll be able to press the little pencil there on the right, and then all the columns that you are showing on the data grid will show on this form, and you'll be able to amend them if you can. So for example, in the main account name, in there is not a field you can change, so you won't be able to do that one. So it's safe. And then you can save and close. So this is, so you can do changes a lot quicker with less clicks and without losing the flow of what you were doing by navigating away. I think it's going to be
going to have a big impact, this one.
I think so. I love it. It looks really good. Something I wanted to show you is, so as I said, when you click the quick edit, the little pencil, you'll get in a pop-up all the fields that are displayed in your data grid, with as well any related fields. So for example, in this data grid that we had before, I'm going to go back, you don't have the end date for that course. You only have the start date. But when I click the quick edit, I have the start date and the end date. And why is this? It's because there's validation between those fields, because the start date should be before the end date and the end date should be after the start date. So because those fields have validation, any field that has validation will show you the other field as well. So instead of just giving you an error and saying this can be done, you have it there in front of your eyes, even if you are not displaying it in the data grid, which I think is great. It's really clever. Yeah, really clever. So it's not me really clever. It's the guys. It's the guys. No, it's the guys. Really, it's a team. It's a massive team effort. Yeah, it's a very clever team. Well, we always at all times doing our best to do good things for you, because we do everything we do for you. So that's that one. The next one is the My Teaching. Let me just move this little bit down here. We've done some navigation improvements. So if you watched the webinar last time, or if you came to the live one, Jack did it for me because I was in Argentina. Then he would have talked about this, and the My Teaching and the vision with My Teaching is we are working on My Teaching across many releases to get your trainers to be more independent and to communicate through the platform rather than outside, to get them to do jobs rather than having to tell the admin all the time, which they can if they want. So there's a lot of improvements in the My Teachings to help with this vision of getting a smoother communication between the admins and the trainers. So navigation improvements, we've added icons to the My Teaching, and let me see if I have the next one. There we go. And we remove, in the header, we remove news baskets and events because they are not relevant for the trainers when they are in the trainer portal. So now it's kind of cleaner look. So it's quite good visually. We added the ability to share delegate and course custom fields with trainers, which I know a lot of people wanted, because there's many things you want to share that are relevant to your organization only, and it might not have a place in accessplanit, but with custom fields, you can just make that your own and decide to share with your trainers for delegates and courses. And we've added the ability to add notes, tasks, and files. Particularly task is new, notes and files as well. They were able to see notes and files, but now they can also create, edit, and delete the notes and files they have created. So don't worry, they won't be able to delete notes and files and tasks that admins have done. They can only delete their own, but this gives a lot more ability to communicate with admins by creating notes, updating files. If they have a file, rather than having to send it to the admin for the admin to upload it, they'll be able to upload it themselves. So a lot of functionality with those notes, tasks, and files. As I said, all this in detail will be in the release notes, in the help guide when we release it. So this mine is kind of a little overview. And then the last bit is the course and delegate details at a glance. Oh, I'm a bit behind with the I'm not as organized as Helen for the presentation. So this is the files, notes, and tasks for my teaching. And the next bit, when it comes, there we go. We've added view course details at a glance. So trainers have at the moment, before this release, they have all the information, but they have to kind of look in the data grid, go into here or there to look at things at the most relevant things they would look. So with the view course details, we've added one click to see everything they most probably want to see about the course. So you got course information, location, more information, and something that and also within that view course details, they have the actions to generate the register and the sign-in sheets. So trainer, why did I put that one there? Because if you look at the one in the middle, that one's got a course location section, and the one on the right doesn't. And that is because that course doesn't have a location. So rather than show a section that is empty, it just hides it. So we'll always show relevant information for that course without empty bits. So it's easier to digest for the trainer.
More efficient as well.
Yeah, a lot more efficient.
See what you need, snapshot.
Yeah. And we did the same for the delegates, was similar. So view delegates at a glance. So this top menu option, the view edit delegate details, is also new. So you see all the delegate details in there, and we've added the ability for the trainers to modify the email, the mobile number, and the phone number, which they weren't able to do before. And as they were able to do before, they can update the status within this form, or they can do it the way they used to do. We're not removing functionality, we're just adding more. The next is, well, Helen talked to you all about the API version 2 and the webhooks. I'm not going to go on about it. Again, there's amazing documentation that is available to everyone about API. If you don't know, you're thinking about it, you don't really have a look at the documentation, have a read. It's very comprehensive. It's really well written. Even if you don't have a technical background and you might not understand developer language, everyone can understand it. It's really, really well written. So that's kudos to Jenna, who did an amazing job with that documentation. So have a read. If you don't know, if you're thinking about it, just have a read of the documentation. And if you want it on your test site, get in touch with your CSM. We are adding audit for custom fields. We configure the MFA interval. I don't know whether you guys know or whether you have it switched on or not, but we have multi-factor authentication in the platform that you can enable or disable. And now you used to re-authenticate every 120 days, and that was fixed. And with this development, you can change that period of time. So it's up to you. How often would you like your users to re-authenticate? So that's a new development. If you don't have it switched on, it's free. You don't have to pay for it. If you need help, get in touch with us. We'll help you. But it's quite important for the cybersecurity side of things. Maybe you have single sign-on and you don't need it, but it's there if you need it. And accessibility, we finished the last accessibility cards for the checkout, both baskets and learner portal. So that was a good achievement. Now the nearly last bit, placeholder enhancements. We added the ability to cancel delegates within the cancellation wizard. So if you use placeholders, in the past, you could cancel your placeholder using the cancellation wizard. But if that placeholder had some delegates assigned to it, you had to then remember to go and cancel the delegates. What we've done with this development is giving you the ability to cancel the delegates in the one process. So you cancel the placeholder and it'll tell you in there, as you can see, there's 2 delegates assigned to this placeholder. Do you want to cancel them too? It's ticked by default, so that checkbox is checked by default. But if you don't want to cancel them for any reason, just don't check it. So we'll cancel the placeholder and not the delegates. That's also make the process smoother. Oh, I didn't another screenshot in there. And the other thing we've done, the placeholder enhancements, is we've added the transfer from and transfer to and invoice status columns on the placeholder data grid. Check out, I think this might be one of my last few slides.
Yeah.
So some enhancements, I'm just checking on the time because
that.
they're like, oh, yeah, I get chatting. We check out this, the last bunch of features I'm going to talk to you about that we'll be releasing soon. So one is configure columns that are shown on the select delegate. So currently, you cannot choose what columns are shown in your select delegate stage. With this development, you will be able to choose between 3 and 6 columns in there. So we have added mobile number, postcode, city, national insurance number, main contact, account manager to the possibility. So you could choose any of the ones that the 4 that were already there, plus all these new ones, and listen to this, yes, custom fields as well. So you'll be able, if there's something that's relevant for your organization to identify delegates, you can add custom fields in there. I'm going to show you, I've done a few screenshots for this. So this is how it works. You go in your checkout options, you configure your select delegate fields, you select between 3 and 6. If you have custom fields, I made a very relevant one for us, which is has a dog, which in this office is really important. So you can see the bottom one, has a dog, is a custom field. So for us, that is important. I'm making it up, but for us, that is important. It's just to make it sure that it stood out that it was a custom field. Yeah. So we would like to add that to our select delegate window. So there it is. When you click to select your delegates, you could filter, you could search whether they have it. Oh, I've just touched a microphone. A new microphone, the posh microphone. Gemma's gonna shut my hands if I touch a microphone. I hope you're still hearing okay. So that's how it looks like, the select delegate window. And then the next thing we did in checkout is quick access to the booker. So in this case, the booker is Peter Biscuit. And when you go to select the delegates, in the past, currently, before this development, you have all the potential delegates listed alphabetically. So if Peter was the booker, but also wanted to be a delegate in that course, he had to go and search for himself down the bottom, well, depending on where he came alphabetically. But now what we've done is we list the booker at the top.
Nice.
So if Peter is the booker and also a delegate, he doesn't have to go and search for him. He can just click in there and find himself a lot quicker. And we've added support for PO mandatory. And that is it for now.
Excellent.
So you can, if I talk too quick, which was another tip on our training, make pauses. Talk slow, and I realize I get really excited.
Well, it's exciting.
I get excited. The more excited I get, the quicker. And I've just clapped, and you're not meant to clap because it makes noises. So I'm doing all the things you shouldn't do. I hope you understood. I hope you things are clear. But this is my last slide. Let's see where we're going into now. We're going on to the questions.
So thank you everybody for bearing with us. We have new equipment,
yes,
and
an excitable puppy.
Yeah, we'll be better next time. Now we've practiced with this new equipment. So what we can do now is ask for any questions, but what we did do is we looked at questions that had already come in quite frequently. So we've anticipated what some of them could be. Ellie, do you want to take us away?
Yes, so the first one we had coming was, does the help text translate into different languages available in my platform?
Yes, Ellie, it does. So if you view your platform in another language to English, the content of the help text popovers will translate.
Another one we got asked was, can I change the help text content?
No, the help text is standard content, and that's so that we can ensure it's the best possible content. So it's not possible to update the text that's displayed within help text popovers.
Another question we had is, can I add help text to my custom fields?
not at this time. However, it's a feature that we are considering and looking into how that would be possible, because we can see what benefit that would.
Yes,
that would bring.
100%. We are looking into that. It might be one of the ones that jump, that doesn't go to the under consideration all the way. It might do a little skip, because it'll be nice in line with all the new help text for you to have the ability to add help text to your custom fields. So that might be a jump.
Excellent.
Yeah, jumping
Should we
forward
just
one.
have a look and
Just
see if
have a
there's
look.
any further questions? So when sharing custom fields with the trainer, will we be able to share custom fields that are shared with the delegates and course modules? Example, we have an account type custom field, which we have shared with delegate module, that we would like our trainers to see. I think that's one that I'm going to take away. Unless you're
right
aware.
test.
Oh, we have a thumbs up. We have an office thumbs up.
I'm squinting because it goes really tiny. I didn't bring my glasses, so I can't even see the letters.
So thank you so much for that question. We have a double thumbs up. So yes, absolutely, we do have the ability for that. So if there are any further questions, you can keep sending them in, but also, of course, our channels of communication are always open. Please feel free to just send those questions over as and when they come to you, and we'll make sure that we get those answers to you as well. So again, thank you so much for giving us your time. We hope you found it useful.
Yes, so if you want to rewatch it, this will soon be when they chop all the bits. No, they don't chop all the bits. They leave them as they are. It'll be available to you to rewatch and to send to any colleagues you think may benefit from it, or to go back to, you know, some bit or another. So it's been great having you, although we can't see you. And that's it for now, isn't it?
Thank you so much. Thanks for spending the time with us. Enjoy the rest of your days. We'll see you all again soon.
Bye.
Bye.